Welcome back, rugby fans. We are at Silverbacks Park in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the final matchup of this weekend's Collegiate Rugby All-Stars Men's National Shield Challenge, Atlanta 2025. National Collegiate Rugby's All-Star Weekend has been fantastic, and it has all come down to this. New England Independence Red are going to be taking on the Midwest Barbarians for the All-Star Championship. Tri-State Foundry won the Rising Stars. It is Northeast beat Great Lakes to get here. Midwest beat Southeast to get here. This is the matchup. John Broker with Liz Entwistle. It is 25-minute halves, and everything is on the line.
I'm so excited for this rematch, John. We saw these teams face off in pool play action yesterday. It was a 20-10 win for the Midwest against these New England Independent Reds, but they had to deal with a mighty, mighty Reds scrum. We'll see what adjustments these teams make. This is the beauty of these all-star competitions. It's a player face-off, it's a coaching face-off, and we've got plenty of action here.
John McGoey kicks us off for the New England Independence Red. We are underway. Midwest Barbarians, the matchup 2 years ago. The Independence Red won this. Last year was Great Lakes. This year Independence are back in it with Midwest. Midwest came in second in the Rising Stars Championship, looking to finish well here as one of their key players, Luke Pugh, gets a hold of the ball. Luke Pugh hands it off. Pugh has been fantastic, the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire player. The ball gets handed off to big Trent Draper. Trent Draper piles that one in. Draper from Wayne State College. Driven way back in the tackle right now are the Midwest Barbarians. They're at their own 40-meter line. I think I said these are 25-minute halves for this. Final matchup here. Referee is Justin Hale with Chase Vermack. Chike Outlaw as his assistant referees with a handout for an advantage. Ball here for New England Independent Red. College of the Holy Cross, Jackson Everts puts one up, gets rid of that advantage. Ball did not go forward there according to the referee. Big tackle, but it's back in Midwest hands. Both of these teams, interesting styles of play, talented players across the field. Beware of the incredibly intelligent Takudwa Musinguini at fullback for this team. That was nearly intercepted there from the Independence Red. Tony Zhao comes over to clean that one up. And now it's red ball. Bobby Voth has had a tremendous weekend, the Boston College player. Voth puts a little one out there to Asa Rosenmeyer. Belmont High School, Brown University, USA, U20. Ball around into the hands of Eric Estienne. Another Brown player has been fantastic out here. They go by Zhao, they go to Jackson Everts. He scored a huge try earlier to win it for this team. We have a high tackle penalty. Everts thought about going quick, wry smile on his face. We're going to go back. Taula, from St. Bonaventure. He's going to put the ball downfield. It's cold, it's windy, a little snow swirling around here in Atlanta. Chilly up in the broadcast booth.
The fast and furious first 3 minutes of play here. In previous matches, we've seen opening plays, opening tries in the first 30 seconds, and here's sustained action back and forth, two physical teams, and it's going to continue as the ball stays on field. Musinguini
takes that one. They don't find touch. So going to get it back a little further. He is left-footed, so that was on a good side for him there. Musinguini played for the Zimbabwean national team, playing for the Midwest here. Musinguini goes to Iowa Central Community College.
He's certainly a player to watch. We've seen his kicking range, kicking for goal from 48 meters out, the current leading point scorer in the entire tournament. His accolades well-deserved. Other deserved accolades here. Number 2 on the throw, Jamie Phillips. He has been all over the pitch for this Reds team. And we've seen this happen many a time where they are able to maul, whether it's the first or second jumper, continuing to keep the ball in play. It is the Reds still on the go, just outside of the 22 as the wind picks up here in our commentator booth. Welcome back, John.
Thank you. Blew away some of my notes here, so I had to go get that. Both gets it to Everts. Everts puts it up to Phillips. Phillips has been so good. Runs into a couple of players right there from the Midwest. Well tackled, both. Quick ball. Basuku powers his way ahead. Voth looking for this one again. A little tougher that time. McGoey gets that. Seemed to be knocked forward there, but earlier is probably an offsides penalty. Taula thinks about going quick. We may be thinking about the posts here.
This has been a potent Midwest defense. We see them so quick to align and quick to launch. At that point, we saw them flooding the passing channel. So I think John's assessment of a player being offsides is correct, because that was a little bit even further of a jump than we've seen the Midwest all weekend long.
This Midwest Barbarians All-Stars team, coached by Tyler Daly, University of Iowa, Jeremy Kachuba, University of Minnesota Duluth, Joe Lippert, Iowa Central Community College, Tyler Selleck from St. Scholastica, and Dakota Southworth of the University of Northern Iowa. Conversely, it is Kyle Sumption from Dartmouth, Dave Laflamme from Brown, and Ed Turbity from Northeastern University coaching this New England Red team as Manulua Taula steps up. St. Bonaventure business management major. Hits that. It's 3-0 for the Independence Red.
So 5 minutes of fast and furious play yields 3 points for the men in red. Starting off strong, but again, this was a match that we saw yesterday where Red was often in the lead, and it was the Midwest that was able to come back strong. We again mentioned several of these players on the field with championship experience. When we talk about Brown, when we talk about Northern Iowa, when we talk about even Wayne State, these were all teams that appeared in the 2024 finals. Plenty of skill on the field and plenty of skill through the boot of Musungwenyi.
Musungwenyi has good range with his kicks here. Hangs that one up and a little bit long. It's going to come down into the hands of Kahanu Koi, one of the AIC players, and he breaks away. He's got some room. He's got players chasing him. Can he get it away? He does. Look at this break coming right here from Philemoni Manu. Another AIC player gets to the 5-meter line. Pugh in trying to get over that as quick as he can. It is well held up. Taken back. Basuku did a lot of work for a loose head prop to get himself up there. Now the ball is in Tony Zhao's hands. He's been a line-out target, but can he do some work, the Brown player? Around the tight, he'd be well rewarded with a try. Player to the ground, have to release. Referee Hale right there. Basuku back in action. Players either side here. We'll see where Voth decides to go. Gonna go just a little wider, get the ball to McGoey. McGoey gonna take that one in. Looks like Estienne. Trent Draper scoops that one up, the Wayne State player, and just hoofs it downfield. Ball squirted out, so the big prop takes it and puts a little pressure off of his Midwest Barbarians team. But another line out here for the Independents.
Pressure indeed from this counter-attack, starting deep in their own territory. What a break off the kick receipt, and love that transfer of the ball. Hand to hand, he's looking and checking back to see where his players are behind him. Heads up play by New England, excellent support lines, excellent continuity. Manu just barely taken down. We saw the slow kind of tackle from behind just off the fingertips from Benjamin Beckman, and then it was Musungwenyi that was able to finish the tackle. And now the Barbs ball in hand.
Yeah, Barbos take that one over the top there. Midwest has the ball. Unusual. New England's been steady on these lineouts, but it is a big Sol Gaffa still going here. He's about 15 meters out. Players in and over that ball for the Independence Red. They may have snaffled this one away, but penalty against the Midwest Barbarians coming in there. Good work to force that from the Independence Red. Player got in and over that ball and forced them to come in and play it illegally.
We love that counter. We love the break they saw, and then it was enough by New England to draw the penalty. You saw Aiden Smith, the number 11 jersey, ball in hand. He's at every mark. If there's an opportunity to go quick, he kind of wants it. He's that player that will take that extra step, give a little extra, and he scored plenty of tries this weekend. Ball in play, though, back on the field.
Second missed touch there from the Independence Red. Get it to Cohen Webb, the Charlotte native, a dangerous person to have that ball right there. Looks like it's come back into Phillips' hands. Speaking of dangerous players to have the ball, Bobby Voth looking around, finds a runner. Handoff there. Asa Rosenmeyer going to be the second one in. Midwest has come in and ripped that ball away. Good work around the breakdown. Player just got himself a little isolated there. It was Quinn Heineman. Ball comes up to Gaffa. Looking in each direction. Midwest gets the ball up to Carta. Carta held up in the air by the Independence Red. Eventually gets himself down. Referee Hale right on the spot, making sure that ball is going to come cleanly. Ball to Benson Hahn. Benson Hahn spins out of one. Ball coming again. Keeping it tight are the Midwest Barbarians. That's Carta. Can he get to the ground? It doesn't look that way. A referee Hale says it was held up. Good attempt there by the number 5 from the Midwest All-Stars, Matthew Carta out of University of Minnesota Duluth. But we'll have a goal line drop for the Independents. They still lead by 3.
So we see the carry, we see the offensive pressure through the forwards of the Midwest. Pugh there in support. He needed to tackle his teammate to ground. And again, the ball just touching down in the end goal would have given the Midwest a try. Well done by the Independents to get under and get away. Reminiscent of those years of the AIC players when Christian Adams was their strength.
Shorter ball outside the 22. It's back in Midwest hands. That's one of the challenges there as Andy Naringo, powerful center, punching a lot of holes in the defenses all weekend. Midwest, it's a real touch of the ball that we've seen as they go right to that pick and go game. Again, just keeping it really tight against the Independence Red here are the Midwest. Interesting tactic. You got Musanguini in sight there, who has been able to find runners all game, but they're going to keep it tight to the Barbarians. And it looks like try awarded there for the Midwest Barbarians. Looked like a penalty signal to me at first, but the Barbarians have gotten over the line. They've gotten 5 points, taking the lead. 5-3 kick to come from Musanguini.
So the interesting tactics paying off again with the pick and go, keeping low body form, looking for that leg drive. That's Hahn again in on the action, supported by Pugh. The redheaded number 8 is everywhere on the field. Look at all these forwards for the Barbarians there. And because there is that threat of Musanguini and all of his backs out to the right, they have to respect that space. The New England defense can't do anything to stop that Jack Pugh drive. And this time stays low to the ground. No chance of that ball being held up.
Well-deserved try there for Luke Pugh, actually. As captain has a conversation here with Justin Hale. Musanguini would like to take the kick, so he'd like to get him out of the way.
There's been concerns all weekend long with what designates a player approach when it comes to kicking these penalties. Earlier, we did see Great Lakes take one off the tee defensively, denying a conversion by New England. So again, some clarity there as we see Musanguini lined up, and he doesn't miss.
He certainly can hit from here. He's hit some tough kicks all weekend. Everts put some pressure on him this time, and that one is good. So it is 7-3, 4-point game here. 11 and a half minutes gone in this All-Star Championship National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Weekend here in Atlanta. Independent Red, McGoey from Amherst, where do they get us underway again? High kick from McGoey. Contestable ball. Up into the air they go. Estienne can only get a hold of the Midwest player. Midwest, nice little break there. Out of their own 40-meter line. Penalty, however, against them. And Independents have an opportunity here. May look for the corner. And they will do. Jackson Everts will do the honors. They missed a couple of touch finders so far, so need to make sure of this one so they get that line out.
Everett's strike is true. New England has earned themselves a line out inside of the 22, and we've seen them as such a threat before. We'll go back to the earlier play. Here is the drive. Pugh with the ball in hand, looking to break through the New England defense. But we see the player go over. That's going to be a penalty every single time. Just a little bit of an overreach by Andy Naringo, giving New England an opportunity inside the 22. And such sure hands when it comes to Zhao being lifted in their lineouts.
Yeah, the last one went over the top there. This one does again. Midwest comes down with 2 mistaken lineouts there. Gaffa doesn't get the room he did the last time. But they are still on the move. Unusual for Independence Red. They've been so strong in that area. Draper takes one in. Pressure coming on here at the breakdown. Referee Hale right there. Hahn puts it out the back. Cohen Webb hangs one up in the air. Cross comes McGoey. McGoey looking at his options. His option is Philemoni Manu. Manu can't quite handle that one, the AIC player, but referee says ball went backwards, but it's been chipped ahead. It's a foot race here. Naringo trying to go back on it. Coy seemed to touch that one down. We'll see what the call is here. Kahanu Koi got back.
So fast and furious again, putting the pressure on both these teams so evenly matched. And something I want to point out and just praise is the mobility of these tight 5 forwards. Both teams have options, and we see the age of the scrum specialist is done. We see mobile players all over the field. Right now we see another view. Excellent coverage by the Midwest wing in the number 14 jersey, Drake Poth.
And they carried that back across, Koi did. So it's going to be a 5-meter scrum to the Midwest. Pugh at the back there. A little room off to this side. Off to the right. See where they decide to go. Ball back for the Midwest. They go out to the backs. Get up to Naringo. Ball spills. It's in New England Independent red hands. It's back to Musunguini, but we're going to come back to the original knock-on. Be a scrum for New England. Good result for them.
So excellent pressure. We saw the drive from New England on this scrum, and they have played with tactics where they will move some of their front row players into the number 8 position, depending on if they're going to carry or not. So something to look at as an audience, as spectators, knowing some of the coaching strategies, again, talking to such an experienced coaching staff. And we'll take a look again here at the scrum. So we see the put in by the Midwest. We look at the stride. We also look at Bobby Voth, the scrum half for New England. Patient, not giving any chance of being offside there. And it's enough to disrupt as New England's going to come away with possession inside of the 22.
Scrum something together. It looked like Midwest got in there a little bit early. So referee Hale is going to bring this one up.
Hey, I'm here. Both of you, just long bind. That's the only thing we need. Long bind, we'll be
keep
okay.
an eye on this front row. We also heard about adjustments made by the Midwest midway through their game against New England yesterday because of the strength of this New England front row. They made some player adjustments, and now we get to see this Draper Bazuku battle on the near side.
Ball to come in here for Independent Red. Looking for a steady one. They've drawn some penalties this weekend. Voth gets that one in. Big drive here from Independence Red. Don't draw the penalty. Gonna go to the boot of Taula. Missed a couple of touch finders, finds that one. It gets some good distance. Midwest line out just inside the Independence half. 7-3, 16 minutes gone.
We look at little moments of high rugby IQ. We've seen multiple teams now set some of their players at the touch line, knowing that they may be able to take a quick line out if the ball has crossed the plane of touch, that is out. But we saw the opportunity for Midwest, but New England was there too quickly, looking to take the mark. Once we have 2 players from each team, the line out is established, and you cannot go quick. 1 player there yelling mark, mark, mark does nothing. 2 players is a tunnel.
Midwest goes up with that ball. It comes down to the Independence. Get in there quickly. Voth looking for some runners. Player trying to pick that one off. We had a knock on in there. It's going to be a scrum here for the Midwest.
Love the read by Cohen Webb. The timing just a tad off, but looking for these interceptions. We've seen a couple of yellow cards come from the potential for intentional knock-ons, even in this game of 15. And instead, we'll see the scrum reset, but heads up play by Cohen Webb looking to flood the passing channel.
David and Randall to put this one in. Ball out quickly. Naringo, the preferred first receiver. Referee is going to whistle for a no wrap tackle there. Don't know if there was an attempt to wrap. We'll see.
Again, some match direction from our referee in the middle. We see Cohen Webb right there. He was the only freshman that was taken on the All-American Tour de France. Was talking with New England's coaches about him as a player familiar with from that very tour.
It's a penalty back closer to the line out there, so it's going to be Musunguini to push this one downfield. Good distance from him, so line out for the Midwest. About 35 meters out from the Independence red line. Tight matchup so far.
Midwest has been able to erupt a very potent New England line out. We'll see what happens on this next one with possession of their own. Benson Hahn lining for the throw-in.
A little trickery there at the lineout. A break opens up there for Randall. Aiden Smith takes him down. Could leave a little room open in that wing. They slow it down just enough. Midwest spending a fair amount of time inside the 22 of the Independence Red at the moment. Draper. Gonna take a quick run here. Independence trying to rip that one away. Cannot do so. Another pick to the left-hand side, keeping this one tight. Player locked over that ball for the Independence, but it's going to come back Midwest way. Barbarians. We'll see what happens with this one. Player, first one in there for Independence, rip that one away. Sooner or later, you run out of players there. Phillips takes it to the ground. Draper trying to rip that one. Asa Rosenmeyer calling for this ball. Rosenmeyer, Holden Hahn collide. Holden Hahn makes a tackle eventually. Estienne. And a knock on, and they were going to come back to a Midwest scrum. A little bit of a mistake.
It seems anytime the Midwest has a mistake, there is an answer from the Independents, and the Midwest able to quickly recover. Pressure is on inside of the 22. They're going to be just meters away from the goal line with about 4.5 minutes left to play in the half, leading 7-3. But quite a tactical matchup. We'll go back to the action on the field. It's after Phillips had the strip. There's Voth. In the Midwest, 3 tacklers are there, able to just barely poke it and get a strip.
Knock-on was a second player that came in there for the Independence Red. Estienne seemed to go down all right with it. David Randall to put this one in for the Midwest. Pugh at the back, big drive coming, pressure on from Independent Red. Penalty against Midwest, and Independent Red knows how to get themselves out of trouble on occasion.
We saw the Midwest with their back players in motion. Drake Poff inserting from that near side wing out to the far side and perhaps thinking a few 2 steps ahead, as they're not able to secure the ball in the scrum. Quite a drive from New England. A little bit of wheel there at the end, and you saw Buthuku with a big grin on his face.
Yeah, he let Draper know he got the better of him in that. So props will be props. We're coming back here to a line out for the Independence Red. Phillips has the ball in hand.
We see the Midwest setting up with a single lifter with that front jumper. Draper supporting Pugh. Again, looking to disrupt. Not a lift on that one.
They go to Zhao. Ball out to the middle of the field. Good tackle from the Midwest. Back in this direction they come. Basuku takes on Draper in open field now. Those two are going to go hammer and tongs all day, I'm sure. Voth shaping here for a box kick. Midwest players moving back. Cohen Webb in the backfield. Nice kick over the head there inside the 22. Has a good bounce. Working its way all the way back, but not going to go in goal there. So Cohen Webb has it. He's looking for Musanguini. He finds him. Musanguini can be so dangerous in open field. Always knows where his opposite players are. Gets the ball to the wing. Gets the ball a little further there. So Midwest. A good return from inside their 22. Back into their open play here. Independence Red on defense again. Draper. A big collision. Cohen Webb looking for runners. Ball goes up over the top. Aiden Smith had a number of people to cover there. That ball down to the ground. Could have been Naringo that took that in. That one spills. Should be a scrum here to New England Independent Red.
So frantic action coming from that box kick from Voth. We see the way that he sets up, very deliberate, calm at the ruck, but he reaches in and we see the way that his leg is extended off the back. So take a look here again around this breakdown. Managing the back of the ruck. He's getting the ball back, and we see this step. When you see that toes go up. We know that box kick is coming. The Midwest is there to cover, and Musenguini, the danger man, one of my favorite things about watching him on the field is the way he'll counter, but that he's not looking for those extra yards, he's looking for support.
He has found support so many times this weekend. I mean, he's a good try scorer on his own, obviously, but he's run towards people and put people into space so many times this weekend unselfishly. It's been very impressive. Referee going to pull this one up as we're about 1 minute from halftime here. Could be a little referee's time.
Very similar to yesterday's pool play matchup where, again, we saw about 4 or 5 penalties off the scrum, looking to prevent it in this game. So clear directives from the referee, making sure that we're establishing that stable front row, looking for that alignment and solid contact.
Both. Puts that one in. Big drive from Independent Red. Would have loved to draw the penalty there, but they get it to Manu. Manu chips it downfield. It rolls in a touch outside the 22, so it is going to be a Midwest line out. You can be sure the Reds are going to put pressure on this. But opportunity here late in the half. 30 seconds on the stadium clock. A little more on ours. So we're headed towards halftime. 25-minute halves. This is a tight one, as was the Rising Stars final. Went into double overtime, that one.
Excellent matches all day long. So many of them tight. We've seen several 4-point, 5-point, and of course the overtime game. This one remains a 4-point game with seconds left to go.
Ball here to Holden Hahn. Holden Hahn, the University of Kentucky player, another USA U20 out of Charlotte. Big collision here, however. Referee sees someone down in a bit of bother, so he's going to hold this up. We're going to bring the trainers on the field. Player with a big collision there. So what we're going to do is we're going to step away for just a minute. We'll come back as this player gets attended to.
Play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Let's get ready. Major League Rugby is now.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
The Rugby Network is giving you all the free MLR content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit, never miss a try, never miss your team. MLR on TRN. Never miss a match.
Welcome back. They went to halftime. So at halftime, we have the pleasure of having Pat Clifton. Pat Clifton, Sevens Director for National Collegiate Rugby, big part of this event. Pat, a little chilly this weekend, but good nonetheless.
Hot Atlanta, isn't it?
It's supposed to be
freezing
hot
cold Atlanta.
It is not quite as hot as we were sort of hoping it would be, but what a final we have in our hands.
This is a great one. I mean, finals footy, they got the finals anxiety, Midwest, New England. The Barbarians try to get their first title. New England trying to reclaim it after a year off. So this is a great matchup here.
Yeah, it certainly is. So tell us, what you've been doing with NCR out here this weekend, how everything's going.
Well, in NCR and in rugby, everybody wears many hats. I am the sevens director, but I'm mostly the content guy this weekend, doing some college rugby show content, trying to tell some stories and highlight some of these all-stars and give them the representation they deserve from an event like this.
Any standout players for you?
Oh, my God, all over the place. Look at this, the Midwest. I think Cone Webb, for my money, is the best American player here. His head, his IQ is really fantastic. Their kick passing game, the Midwest Barbarians, we haven't seen it a lot yet in this game. They need some more balls, some more go forward, but their kick passing game has been fantastic. Great decision maker. He links up really well with Taku Musanguini, of course, their Iowa Central Tritons, or Tri-Twins, as I like to say.
Really?
Yeah, they're fantastic. And Andy Naringo's also been really great in the centers for them and up front. You got Andrew Boucher and Luke Pugh, the second row from Wisconsin Eau Claire, all small college Division III guys, and they're killing it.
He's been great this weekend. Scored a try earlier in this game. That was well-deserved for Luke Pugh. He's been wonderful all weekend.
And then the New England Independents in this game, Kahunu Koi set up their first, a great foray into the attacking end. He's only already capped by the LA Guiltinis in Major League Rugby, by PR7s. That's the kind of talent on display out here. He's been fantastic. Of course, everybody knows Jackson Everts, the center from Holy Cross. He's been fantastic as well. So lots of talent on display for sure.
It certainly has been. And while the players are just coming back on the field quickly here, tell us, we got a little sevens coming up this spring.
That's right. It is almost seven seasons. After this weekend, we fully lock in. We've got a great qualifier season set up. We're going to be qualifying teams from January. Next weekend is our very first one down in Florida, Gainesville. On from there into the CRC. Of course, 144 teams coming back to Maryland, the largest college rugby tournament in the world. Pretty pumped about it.
So we are just about ready to go with the second half here. I'm not going to ask you for any predictions, but Pat Clifton, thank you very much for joining us in the booth. And we have the second half coming up here. National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Weekend, the final 25 minutes, barring another tie.
Thank you, man. Thanks, John, for being here. Thanks for being awesome. Same to Liz Entwistle. A lot of grassroots rugby years up here.
Certainly is. Certainly is. All right, we're just about ready to get underway here again. It is going to be New England Independence Red receiving that one. If you need to know, Quinn Heineman was a player that was injured. He walked off on his own power, so good stuff there. Great medical staff here at the Silverbacks Park. And Liz Entwistle back in with me, John Broker, for the second half of this matchup. 25 minutes to go. Taku Musanguini. To get us underway, Justin Hale whistles for the start of the second half. And it's a low driving kick this time. And a little step there from Taula. Ball spills forward, but it seems to comes back to the Midwest here. So just spilled out. They're going to go quick with this one. But ripped away this time by Basuku. Basuku really wants this one today. The grad student at Dartmouth. Out they come. Ball into the hands of Jordan Chappell. Chappell has been a hard grinding player, just punching those little holes. They go off to the other direction. Basuku again gets rid of that ball. They've got Estienne. Estienne gets it out. It's in the hands of Phillips. Phillips moves it one more. Stretching the field here are the Independence Red on the run. That one spills. Asa Rosenmeyer steady. Gets that one to the ground. Voth. McGoey in behind to Jackson Everts. Schlager goes down. Voth ball in hand. He's got the attention of a couple of Midwest defenders. The distributor not there. So in steps Aiden Smith. Aiden Smith from Trumbull, Connecticut, plays at Kutztown. Sure, his father JT, the coach at Trumbull High School, is watching. Asa Rosenmeyer. Spills that one. Knock on in the tackle. So it should be a scrum here to Midwest. 7-3, Liz. It's anybody's game.
And again, an excellent start to the second half of play. Love that choice on the low kick from Musanguini, as it didn't give the Northeast the time to align. It gave a quicker demand of action to be played. And we saw 90 seconds of action, much like we started the first half in those first 3 minutes without stoppage.
England's had a few injuries for the weekend, so their bench isn't terribly deep. Midwest, couple. Ball to come in here from David Randall.
One of the players to keep an eye on if there were to be any replacements is number 20 for New England, Samt. He's been an impact player in every match. They withheld him from their earlier game because the tight five, particularly the front row, was doing so well. So some fresh legs in the form of a forward replacement should New England need to call upon him.
He can score long-range tries, too. We've seen that. My try of the weekend. Big push coming in from the Independents. Are they going to draw a penalty? It's going to be a free kick to the Midwest Barbarians. Referee says that was illegally done by the Independent Red. They were looking to draw a penalty there in the scrum. Cohen Webb has the ball. It's a free kick here, so kicking in a touch is going to give the ball away. So they're just going to bring this one into the forward, drive it in. That was Sabanda on the field. Sabanda. Ball comes back to Hahn. Hahn puts a pass in, probably not the one he wanted to do. Cohen Webb has a couple of front row forwards from the Independents on him. So that's always a little bit tough. Trying to dig that one away, but it's still Midwest ball. Sabanda, 2 carries in his first couple of minutes on the field. Gets just inside the 22. Ball back to Musanguini. Musanguini drives that one straight in the touch. So we'll have a line out here for Independence Red, about 25 meters out from the line.
We spoke yesterday to the player management, the game management of Cohen Webb. We see him directing on the field. He's cleaning things up. He's a scrappy player, a high rugby IQ. Love the option there when they took the free kick to take the tap instead of trying to tap and kick to touch. Instead, keeping the ball alive for the Midwest. And this has been such an evenly matched battle in open play on the field.
Certainly has. 9 minutes gone. They're going to go to Zhao. Referee Hale is going to say not straight, however. Lineout has been on the money for the Independence Red until this game.
The Midwest is quite disruptive. We spoke about the speed of their launching defensive attacks, the way that they bring their wall forward, and now they're bringing it in the lineouts. Adjustments made from yesterday's match. We've seen New England so skilled, especially when they bring the ball down to maul, even with short-sided lineouts. New England's going to need to draw deeper into their lineout bag of tricks.
See here, the Midwest has taken a line out. So Zhao at the front for the Independence Red. They walk him in. A couple of changes there, looking to go. Ball up and well taken, but Randall has some company. Cohen Webb going to box kick that ball. You heard Pat Clifton talk about the supreme intelligence he sees in Webb, but that one goes directly into touch, and it's going to be a line out for the Independence Red just outside the 22.
A good idea, not quite the right execution. What was interesting too is seeing Midwest come in when they've had their 5-man lineout. They've often been inserting Pugh. He's at the front as a single jumper in this scenario. In that case, he was a lifter jumper. It's one of the first times he's been a lifter rather than a jumper alone.
Ball coming here for the Independence Red. Estienne takes it. Ball out for Independence Red. Is still on the move. Voth gets it to Basuku. Basuku is just all intensity this game. Looking for these players. There's Phillips. Phillips has that good footwork. Take a couple of steps there. Make sure his support is there. McGoey. McGoey chips one through. It's in the hands of Musanguini. Almost called him Takudza Ngwenye. Another famous Takudza in America. Ball out here. Midwest still has it, but they are in their own zone as the wind kicks up here at Silverbacks Park. And a knock on, so it's going to be a scrum here for the Independence Red. This is a tight battle.
It's a bit of a stalemate right now inside of the 22. It seems like each play is restarting from the very same point. I think our net meters gained in all this play maybe be a half. We go back to the action here as the Midwest is trying to make something happen, trying to move the ball around, coming in high. We know that's not a player that's going to ground, so New England looking to strip, looking with their buddies, able to force the ball, cough it up, and again, here we are with another chance to attack from that same starting point.
Just about 8 minutes to go, plus in this All-Stars Championship. Locked in the battle here, as we said. Ball to the back. Voth looking for runners. Voth Got knocked around by a couple players there, but it seemed to be offside, so we have a penalty here for the Independence Red. So Independence Red, opportunity, you would think to put this one to the corner.
If I'm thinking about the sequences of play, I'd also be considering points. While it is a 4-point deficit, 7-6 means another penalty could win it. Instead, they choose to go to the corner, and that's the decision of the players on the field.
That is the decision of them, but they would get themselves ahead by a point with an unconverted try here. Referee whistles. We may have some changes coming in.
See if we can get a number on the substitutes. I do hope that we continue to see this Draper-Buthuku battle in the forwards. The props, it's been a pleasure so far.
Ball up to Zhao. He just drops it down there into one of his teammates' hands. So they're going forward, looking for runners. Ball out there to Jordan Chappell. Midwest rips that one away, however. It's been a defensive battle from two teams with really great offensive, players across the board. That one goes to Cohen Webb. Cohen Webb puts it in touch. So another opportunity here for Independence Red inside the 22 of the Midwest.
So it's that same spot yet again. We see Phillips with the ball in hand for the throw. Zhao's been an excellent target all tournament long.
And they go to Zhao yet again with that ball a little messy. It winds up in the Midwest hands. Midwest finding a way to disrupt this Independent line out today. They put the ball back. They're going to go with this one, and Aiden Smith is going to pick that off and take the lead. Aiden Smith could read that from a mile away. I could read that from up here. An ill-advised pass. We'll see what we're coming back to from the referee. That might have been a free play.
So we'll go back to the action here off of the line out again. The Midwest disrupting. We see the toe to get the ball in. And then we see this release point on the high pass. Aiden Smith is there, but there is something that was not to our referee's liking, so it is going to draw it back. It was a good read, and I think the Midwest just got a gift.
Absolutely. See what the call is here. I think it's a line out to the Midwest. Dangerous days. 6 meters out here. You can bet Zhao is going to go up for this ball. They go to the front. Well taken down there by the Midwest. Now they're in trouble. They're at their own line here, so going to need to do some work. Just over 5 minutes to go. And we have what looks like a penalty against the Midwest. So opportunity here for Independent Red. I think a player was just blasted off the ball there, if I am not mistaken.
So we see a moment as Phillips is down for New England. Interesting looking across Midwest. So while they've stolen these lineouts, they do have Musanguini towards the outside. If we were looking for an exit kick, you would expect him to be the one. Of course, they have the option with Cohen Webb as well. Back to the action on the field, post lineout. We see the numbers, we see the staggering, we see the Midwest perhaps penalized for going over the ruck there, losing the feed.
I just saw the hand motion there at the end from the referee.
So get a replay of the replay. We're looking at some of the body positioning here. Look at this number one from Midwest pulling the player down.
Right,
so kind of an attempt at a gator roll of sorts, but it was just kind of a straight ole, and I think that's the penalty that did them in.
Just took him over there. We'll see what the decision is here. Waiting for Phillips to recover. Key player for this team. Probably player of the weekend, really, for the Independence Red. He's been everywhere, leading by example. 5 minutes on the stadium clock here.
15 minutes left on the stadium clock
15
as we are
minutes
in
left
our
on the stadium
25
clock.
minute
Yes,
halves.
I have no idea what I'm talking about at this point. Too many games.
It's a long weekend of play, and we've also seen some non-traditional play from these teams. They matched up so well yesterday, but one thing to keep an eye on is that the Midwest often did not choose to engage on lineouts in the malls. They've been so disruptive that that hasn't even been a factor as they've stolen the ball right away.
So 15 minutes to go. Apologies on mine. Thinking we're much closer to the end. A little chilly down here. I'm just dreaming of getting out of the cold as well as watching the great game of rugby here. Big drive coming from the Independence Red. Independence looking to drive this one over. Can they get there? They're at the line. They had a couple players come out to this left-hand side. They've got runners they can get there. Voth gets it out to McGoey. McGoey puts the ball back. Player dives on it there and may have knocked it forward. See what the call is here. It's going to be a scrum here for the Midwest. But they are mired inside their 5-meter line and dealing with a very powerful scrum from New England Independent Red right now.
We saw excellent management at the back of the scrum by Voth. And he had Taula as a first receiver off to the right, chooses to go to left instead. And again, we saw some different setups with this New England team. At this point, we see McGoey, the ball in, the ball bounces out. It looks like it bounces to the side. However, the angle from our referee, a tad different. So stifling another attacking opportunity.
There's black. We're good.
Some changes coming in for both teams. McGoey seems to be off.
It does look like Draper is off for the Midwest as well. We see Gaffa and Sibanda across the front row.
Scrum coming here, Rindle to put it in for the Midwest. Independence will be looking to draw a penalty here. They're going to try to get this one out quickly. Will Independent Red, and they do indeed get the penalty. Independent Red have the ball. They need 5 points here. Phillips has it. They're going to hold. See if they decide to take the scrum.
They are far towards the left-hand side. We see them on that 5-meter hash. Should have some open opportunities to the right. We'll look for the alignment of Aiden Smith. He has a wing that is covering both sides of the field, inserting himself into as much action as possible, but there hasn't been much action today besides that attempt at the picked-off pass.
Max Schlager playing in the backs, playing as a flanker here for the Independents. Type 5 is really doing some work here. Big drive coming. Looking to get that one going. The ball is in the hands of Jackson Everts. Everts scored a long-range try. Not known as the most physical player, but takes on a few there. Voth gets a hold of it. Comes out to Frost. It's in Coy's hands. It is that man right there, Philemoni Manu. Philemoni Manu steps a couple. Philemoni Manu from AIC in Springfield, Massachusetts touches down, and we have a lead change. 8-7, kick to come for New England Independent Red.
So an excellent option, choosing the scrum from the penalty that New England was able to draw. And what was really great was their setup. We saw 2 waves of backs that were set up. So they had a first wave of attack, kind of a clump, almost a tight 5 of backs. And that wave of support did pay off. We'll go to the replay. So we see again the back of the scrum, Voth managing his options. So we see a tight 3 there. Everts able to cut his way in. The support was there if he needed it. And then it is the second wave that is able to convert. So 2 pods of 3 out of the backs and a 5-point try.
And Philemoni Manu just leaving a bunch of players there for dead, just swinging their arms at him. Found that lane inside. Great work on his part. The defense was drifting out as they were going to keep going. Taula steps up for this one. Taula played for the Giltinis already up at St. Bonaventure. Kicks that one. It is 10-7. 3-point game. Unconverted try would put this Midwest Barbarians team in the lead. And this will be the first time in several minutes they're out of their own 5-meter zone.
You know, we talked about the first 90 seconds of play here on the field, and then we just spent about 15 minutes camped out inside of the 22. Patient and persistent from both teams. It's New England that comes away with the lead, but still 10 minutes of action here in the second half of this championship match.
Both gets the ball, gets to Estienne. Strangely errant pass there from Voth. Not typical, but we're going to get a penalty against the Midwest Barbarians, so it will be no matter. They'll have a chance to put it downfield. Coy was down there playing with that ball.
Again, we've seen solid pressure from the Midwest, but sometimes a little bit of an overcommitment, and this is now giving New England plenty of opportunities. We saw the penalties on the scrum yesterday. We saw the penalties in the in goal, allowing New England to reset, recharge, reset, and charge again. And now they have gained valuable territory. Just shy of that 10-meter hash.
Line out here. Again, wind whipping. Snow swirling around here just lightly. It's almost too cold for it. Zhao comes down with another one. Not engaged, so they're going to break off there, but penalty quickly. I thought they would have had a second to get that one going, but referee Hale right on the spot is going to give the penalty here to the Midwest Barbarians.
That was New England back in line-out form, but that was the Midwest Barbarians line-out defense and choosing not to engage that we've seen so many times this tournament. I think the first time we've seen the clear picture of a clean line-out today where that defensive tactic has come into play.
Musenguini off the left boot here, looking to put this one down in the corner, and does. Gets good distance. About 18 meters out, I'd say, from the line. Going to be a line out here for the Midwest Barbarians, under 10 minutes to play.
So go back to that line out that we mentioned, getting the reverse angle there. Zhao that goes up, cleanly taken, but again, the Midwest choosing not to engage. We see number 4 hands up, backing out.
Ball up over the top there, into Independent Red's hands. Good work. Player taken to the ground, but opportunity for Red. Voth asks the referee if they are inside the 22. Referee lets them know where they're at. So Voth looking for the box kick here. May try to find touch. That one may have been tapped in the air. So we'll see who comes down with it. Gets knocked forward off of a Midwest hand. So knock-on advantage here for Independence Red. They might want to just take the safety of a scrum there, but they're going to play Basuku. Ball back to Isaac Frost. Get it across. Philemoni Manu with that great run. Aiden Smith. Ball bobbles just a little bit, gets it to his boot, but it goes directly out. So it's going to be a line out here. Little miscue as a player was trying to tackle him just as he was kicking the ball.
The ball straight to touch, so this does bring the ball back to the line out. We do see a player down for New England towards the far sideline.
It's Estienne. Estienne happy to keep playing. Damalolo Odenuga into the game for the Midwest. As you see Estienne coming across. It's going to be Benson Hahn to put this one in.
Midwest again with 5 in the line out. We see Pugh in the back, a threat as a lifter and a jumper. I don't believe we've seen him as a second jumper much in this scenario. He instead takes the motion and lifts to the front.
Ball coming across. Cohen Webb gets Jamie Phillips at the same time as he gets the ball. Tando Sabanda goes into contact at the 40-meter line of the Independence. 3 points in it here. Just over 6 minutes to go. It's the kind of games you want. Here comes Pugh. Pugh, a little bit of a sideways run there, but they're able to bring that one to the ground safely. Cohen Webb gets it in the hands of Matthew Carta. Carta driven back by Tony Zhao and company. Randall gets that one back. Player cut down. Pressure coming on from this Independence Red defense. Tackle on Ringo. He hasn't found as much room as he typically does this weekend. Carta again, and penalty against the Midwest.
Been impressed with the defensive play here, the shooting of this New England team. It was Phillips twice that read the play perfectly. He met Cohen Webb as soon as Webb had his ball in his hands. He does well on the catch and release, but then we see again, it is the New England defense pushing the Midwest back and again drawing the penalty, giving themselves an opportunity. They're at that 10-meter hash. Looks like Everts to kick to touch.
Everts pushes this one to touch. It'll be another line out here. Independence Red line out not firing like it usually does all weekend, but they can take this one down safely. It'll do them a lot of good.
We'll go back again to the previous sequence. Look at this tackle behind the ruck. The action, the over-enthusiasm of Andrew Boucher.
Oh, that was back chat is what he was talking to. Somebody was talking to the referee. So Justin Hale having none of that. As the ball goes up over Zhao's head, it's going to come into Independence Red's hands, so they're still on the move. Taken away by Midwest, however. Midwest poaches that one away at that breakdown. They're inside their 22 again, so a lot of work to do here. Player to the ground. Independent Red. Basuku has been everywhere in this second half. Cohen Webb has company. Musenguini puts that one over the head. This time it comes in on the hands of Jackson Everts. Ball spilled forward on that attempt by the Midwest. So scrum just the 5-meter line there for the Independence Red, and this is what this team will want.
We saw the Midwest again under pressure, and we saw the alignment of Musanguini. We saw him shading in between the centers. We'll go back to the play, though. Pugh with his hands on the ball. Musanguini is there, but Aiden Smith is so quick on the launch, ties him up. The ball bounces forward. New England doing well inside of the 22.
Great work, Aiden Smith, to put that pressure on Musanguini. That's one of the rare almost mistakes you'll see from a guy like Musanguini, and it was that pressure telling right there. Ball in from both. Ball squirts out, so he has to get rid of it. Referee's going to bring it back. It was knocked on there, so scrum here for the Midwest. Instead of a penalty pulling down, so a penalty for the Midwest Barbarians. As we're about 3.5 minutes left in this one.
So go back to that scrum, looking at the body positioning, look at flankers kind of angling down. We see the entire scrum similarly going down. A rare misstep by this New England scrum.
Don't get too much distance. It's just outside the 22. Expect some pressure here from the Independence Red lineout. Suku and Schlager at the front there.
So now we see New England set up with the single jumper, the single lifter.
Go to the front. They go quick with that one. Referee says it was fine. Voth would have liked a not straight call, but not going to get that. Referee Hale running the spot. Trying to hold this one up are Independence Red. Doing a good job of it at the moment. If this comes up, it will be ball to Independent Red. Pivotal moment in the game right here. This must have been called a maul by now. The referee whistles it up. It's a scrum to the New England Independent Red. That could be a critical moment late in this game. About 2.5 minutes on the stadium clock. A little less on ours.
We saw the carry in by the Midwest. We saw Boucher in on the action before the maul is formed. It becomes unplayable, and it is New England with an opportunity. Another scrum at the 22-meter mark. Coming up with several big plays at the 22-meter. This has been their home for this entire second half. Still just a 10-7 game with about 2 minutes left to play. So we once again have a discussion at the scrum, a little bit of game management. We see New England set up wide.
They are set up wide here. All their players on that side. It's open on this side. Should Chappell choose to go that way. Need a strong scrum here. Ball coming in from Voth. Big drive from Independent Red. Are they going to get the call here? Ball's going to come to Jackson Everts. Jackson Everts has to shake one off. Musanguini there to tackle him, but he gets the knee to the ground quickly. And Midwest fighting at this breakdown here. Players diving in, coming over. And I would say definite penalty there. Players offside, then players are coming over. So it's going to be ball here. I suppose I would expect 3 points on the board. Take it above a penalty kick to tie it.
So go again back to the scrum, a powerful drive from New England. They had the setup there, the timing was there, but the ball stayed in a little bit longer than expected. They're able to recover, they're able to realign. We look at this fight at the ruck.
Interesting call here from Independence Red. They're going to go for the corner. They're up by 3. 3 points in front of the post. They would have put them up by 6. Where they needed a converted try here. We are late in the game. Daring call.
Well, daring as well, given how disruptive Midwest has been on these usually stable New England lineouts. Of course, players on the field making this call, making this decision. They're getting guidelines from the referee in terms of how much time is left. Kind of evokes that 2013, I think it was, that final between BYU and Cal, where there were questions about the lineout and questions about time left. New England has something in mind. We'll see how they execute.
They do have something in mind there. I'm sure the coaches may be scratching their heads just a bit. Might like the safety of those 3 points, plus to get the time off the clock as we hit 50 minutes on the stadium clock here. Need to complete this line out. And they go to the front. Basuku wants it. Basuku getting dragged towards touch, but able to keep that one in. Got to be careful here, do Midwest. Don't want to go up any more penalties. Pugh stuck in there. Ball appearing. Another break off to the side. Will they have the last say here? Nice break towards the line. They are in, they are not over. Independent Reds continue the march here. Voth talking to his players. Estienne wanted that one. Cannot turn over this ball. Nice break there. And it is try awarded. Referee Hale dives down right on the spot. I think it was that well-deserved try to Georgie Basuku. What a celebration there. And for everything, it looks like Independent Red are going to reclaim their title here. Midwest, what a game they played. There may be some time left, so we'll just wait. But what a well-deserved try.
So we look again at the replay, the play off the scrum as they are mauling sideways, that ball being held up, presented to his team. And then the solid low. Look at this drive, nearly on his knees, but you're allowed that second move going into the end goal. So he is down, but allowed that secondary move.
He has been
the try.
A man possessed in this game. Basuku taking on everybody in front of him. What work. This may be the last kick of the game here from Taula, and then we will sign off. May keep the cameras on for some celebrations. All quiet in the stadium. Players trying to block this. Taula hits it. Referee Hale whistles us for the end of that matchup. It is your 2025 National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Champions, the New England Independence Red over Midwest Barbarians. Liz Entwistle, final thoughts.
You know, we saw this game yesterday in pool play end 20-10 in favor of the Midwest, and now we see a 10-point win for the Independents. These teams evenly matched the entire second half played in the Midwest defense of 22. New England coming up when it matters most. We saw those disruptions to the lineouts, but that was the lineout that counted, and we got that Buthuku try that we were all waiting to see. He was playing all game long with a grin on his face.
Congratulations to the Tri-State Foundry, the Rising Stars champions. Congratulations to New England Independent Red, the All-Star champions. Midwest runners-up in both. You know, I know it's a bit sore when it happens, but great showing by these Midwest teams here to make the finals in both of those. So congratulations to them. Thank you to all the teams that have been here, all the fans. Thank you to you guys for tuning in, for all of the NCR staff, the work that's been done to put this great weekend together. Like I said, teams, coaches, administrators, getting everybody down here to Atlanta for this wonderful weekend. For our whole technical crew at TVX Video, thank you so much to our camera operators. Thank you so much to our producers and directors. For Chip Burnside, for Liz Entwistle, I am John Broker, and all we can say is stay warm, my friends.
Play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Let's get ready. Major League Rugby is now.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
The Rugby Network is giving you all the free MLR content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit, never miss a try, never miss your team. MLR on TRN. Never miss a match.